Hello, hello. I hope that you guys are having a terrific Tuesday. Wait, is it Tuesday? I cannot believe how fast this week is going. Can you believe that we are in the month of April already? Is that amazing? Oh my goodness. I tell you what, this year is flying by, guys. Tomorrow is Christmas, so you better be getting ready. You better be getting ready financially because guess what? Christmas is coming, ready or not. So I want you guys to be ready for the season because I want this Christmas to be your best Christmas yet. And I had people write me last Christmas and they were telling me about how relaxed the season was for them and how excited they were that they had Christmas money to spend. And I want you guys to be just as excited because I know we're talking about Christmas in April, but get ready because it's coming. You want to be ready. You want to have your finances in order so that you can have the best Christmas that you've ever had, that you've ever given to your children. That's what I want to see. I want to see excitement on your faces, guys. I am going to let you guys know that we are going to have a special guest here tonight. I'm super excited about that. But first, I want to welcome you guys. Hello, hello. We've got North Carolina in the house. Where are you guys from? Come on, I want to see the Texans. I know that you're in here. Thank you so much for that, Nan. Thank you. I appreciate that. You got my HELOC heart. I don't know what that means, but I'm assuming you got a HELOC. I'm super excited for you. Hello from Connecticut. There you go. I'm new. Zandra, hang on. You haven't seen anything yet. What we're getting ready to show you tonight is going to blow your mind. We have got some exciting stuff to talk about today. Oh my gosh, you've already counted the days to Christmas? Are you messed up in the head or what? You're not allowed to count the days. We're not there yet. Oh my goodness. Well, good for you because at least you know it's coming. Just finished my first onboarding consultation with IBC. I know you're super excited. That's my new favorite concept. So thank you for sharing that. We've got New Jersey, Wisconsin, Kentucky, Colorado. I bet it's beautiful there in the snow. I actually had a lady, was it last night or the night before? And she showed me the snow out her window in Colorado, Denver. I'm like, oh my goodness, it's April. It's April. Aunt B's with us. Hello, Aunt B. I remember you from the Andy Griffith show. That is super cool. They're in Virginia. Okay. And then we've got Maryland in the house, Pennsylvania, Shekinah, yes. Thank you for sharing that. Florida. Oh my goodness, they're from everywhere. Can't wait to see more of you and Chris on IBC. Thank you for that, Gloria. I appreciate you joining us. Idaho, California. We've got, you guys are all over the states. And I'm going to tell you, what we're getting ready to talk about tonight is something that you can use all over the states. It doesn't matter if you have a line of credit. It doesn't matter if you have poor credit. Doesn't matter if you have a negative credit score. Sometimes it doesn't even matter if you have a negative cash flow. So I'm going to introduce you tonight to my team lead. You hear me talk about Moneymax all the time. And the reason is because I have found that it has literally been a game changer for so many clients that could not get lines of credit. And I know you're out there. I just dealt with one, just got off with him, having the hardest time because they're in you ready for this, Rick? 6.75% mortgage interest rate.
Ouch, ouch.
$2,700 per month going to interest only. That hurts. And that was just the mortgage. He had 4 personal loans that were over 10%. So guess what? That's your new client. So, guys, I want to introduce to you Rick. He is my team lead on the fantastic team. He is a wonderful representative for Moneymax. And Rick, how are you? How is Texas today? Is it beautiful? Is it hot? Tell us about it.
It's not actually today's beautiful outside. It's not hot. It's although it's working its way back up. So we're already like in the mid upper 80s, something like that.
Oh my gosh, well, we were 52
Yeah,
here today and it was blue skies. So it was absolutely beautiful. A little cool, but I'm okay with that. I don't like cold and I'm not crazy about hot, but I'd rather have hot than cold. I'm not a cold person.
yeah, yeah. Same here.
We have them all over the map here tonight, Rick, and I want to, for the people who have not learned or even heard of what the Money Max is, I know you do the best at doing the presentations, and I'm kind of going to, let you take it over here a minute to talk to us about the Money Max system, what it is, what it looks like, and how it helps people because it has been a game changer for a lot of my clients.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, absolutely, sure has. The To the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars. It's done a great job for your clients.
Yeah.
The Yeah, the thing is that we bank in the Federal Reserve banking system, and it is basically very one-sided, and there's just so much about basically the math and how payments are calculated that we just have never been told. Where how does a 21% credit card actually equal 90% interest? Well, it has to do with how the payments are created. And when we don't know these things, we're at the mercy of the bank. So that's what I love about what we do here together.
So tell me a little bit about what has been your best experience. I know what my best experience is when I have a client that I cannot help because I've had three I can think of off the top of my head that were in a negative cash flow. Their scores were in the 500s and they could not get a line of credit, but somehow they went from a 26-year mortgage down to about an 8 or 9 year mortgage.
Yeah.
That's going to be unbelievable for people that are watching this right now. But when they learn from what you show us tonight that this is not just a fantasy, this is a guaranteed idea that was created by, must be the geniuses of the world, how they came up with this. So are you going to show us, what the system looks like, or tell me what you want to talk about?
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to do. I was going to ask if you wanted to see what the system looked like. That if you wanted to show people, I could try to answer some questions for them if you want me to.
That'd
The
be great.
you know the the big thing is that it's trying to learn how to use money is what it's really all about. And for the most part, what we get is most people, and myself included, once upon a time, I lived in the land of get a bill, pay a bill, get a bill, pay a bill, get a bill, pay a bill, get a bill. Sometimes sweat paying the bill. So it's like So I lived in that. I know what it's like to actually not have enough money to finish out a month.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I think that that's the reason why I'm so passionate about trying to help the clients out. It's that I want them to be able to find the victory. Everybody can find the victory.
Yeah.
But we can't do it. We can't do it without some tools. That's the thing. We can't do it on our own because it requires way more thinking than what that is. And so let me go ahead and show everybody what it looks like. This is what the system right here actually looks like. And so there's a lot going on here, but just to kind of try to keep it simple for everybody, I'll just show them what it is. It's like these blue tiles across the top. These are dynamic. Think about your income. Your income changes month in, month out. Even if you're like, a guaranteed salary, you might get a bonus, might get a tax return. That cousin that you loaned money to 5 years ago finally paid you back or whatever, whatever's going on. So income can change, but what else changes? Our living expenses. Our living expenses are always changing. And so think about all the dynamics then of our life and what life is really like. I didn't know that the kids were going to need to have that for soccer. I didn't know that I was going to have a dental thing. All those little things add up, and we can try to navigate those can make really life really difficult. But imagine if we could just actually, I don't know, man, imagine if there was a piece of technology that actually was able to look at all of our money. It just would see every penny of it. And what it would do is it would know exactly what to do with that money on each given month. I mean, now that would be amazing. That would be a great spreadsheet. Christy, I've seen your spreadsheets, but wouldn't it be great if it would tell you exactly what to do? Knowing.
Sometimes people come to me and they are like a couple I had earlier today. They have a $11,000 tax return that's coming in, and they
Yeah.
were asking me, we want to know where is the best place to put this money. Well, I love lines of credit. I use them. I can show you how to use one. We're going to win with a line of credit. But when the Moneymax comes in, it's like taking it to the penny as to what's the best move for putting in additional funds. And that's what makes it amazing.
Yeah, exactly. It basically automates your banking thinking is what it does. And so we all want to know that, every one of these loan documents tell you that there's no prepayment penalty, but there are no instructions anywhere. But we do provide the instructions here. That's exactly what we do each month is we provide the financial instructions. Most of it, you already know what to do. Pay your mortgage, get paid on certain paydays. And that's what this system is set up on. It's fully customized to every individual. All the dates in here are all different based on how you pay your bills already. If your water bills due this day, if your trash bills due that day, Netflix, plus, I've got my mortgage in my car and my student loan. All of those have due dates. And so all of these dates in here would all be your due dates. All the green numbers would be the days that you're going to receive income. And it doesn't matter whether your income is steady income, commission income. It doesn't matter if it's up and down and sideways. None of that matters. It matters, can it see exactly that money coming in? If it can, and then it sees the money going out, it's going to be able to give you instructions. The blue numbers, that's the money going out, is what that is. And then the black numbers, those are living expenses. And you can have it be as granular as you want or as detailed as you would like to see it. So if you'd want to have every single one of them listed on there, you could. So think of it, the spreadsheet that you have right now with all of your debt on it, okay, all of your living expenses on it is static. It can tell you where you are. That's exactly what it is. It's static. Here's the same spreadsheet, but now it's dynamic. So all that data that you have on that spreadsheet is now in here. And it's able to go ahead and give you the exact instructions of what to do each month. For instance, on this payday, on this day, notice that all of those are the same day. But the system was able to see what they had inside of their checking account and savings account. And when they got paid that day, it said that not only could you make your mortgage payment, not only could you pay the signature loan payment, but you could also move $232.25 from checking over to savings. It's going to want to deploy that next month somewhere. Here it's pulling some of that money that they already had in savings and it's applying it. Look, right in even 14 cents, right down to the penny, as Miss Christy was saying, showing you exactly what you can do with your cash flow. Again, that cash flow number is changing every month. And so it's giving you the exact instructions of what to do. For instance, okay, this family right here, let's take a peek at something. First, I want you to see this. This is what they have. There's their checking account. There's their savings account. There's an auto loan, a MasterCard with $5,000 on it. Yeah, they got a signature loan. They've got a $200,000 mortgage at 6%. And look at this here. They haven't even made one single payment on it yet. But they'll be debt-free in 11.8 years. They'll pay this 30-year mortgage off in 11.8 years. And when we think of that, the first thing we're thinking is that, well, they must be throwing a bunch of money at this thing. All right. But if you actually look at this right here, and this, Christy, you asked me about what I love most. This is it right here. Okay. It's that when we don't have a lot, My favorite clients are the ones that don't have a lot. Okay. So when you don't have a lot, you need to make sure that you're making the very, very best use of it and seeing the victory that your clients get. That is the big deal. And so this family right here is knocking out 19 years of mortgage payments, and all they have is about $300 a month of cash flow.
See, that's so amazing.
Yeah.
I was working with a lady earlier and she had $55 a month in cash flow. And there was no way. Her interest was just too high on everything she was paying. She had a very low line of credit of like $10,000. And the point is you can't do enough damage fast enough with a line. You just can't. And I'm not going to sit here and act like I can produce miracles when you're in a tight situation. So she is coming to you for a Moneymax review of her own individual numbers so that she is going to know what exactly the Moneymax can do for her or not. And you know, the thing is it doesn't matter if you have a line of credit or not. I'm going to be upfront and honest with everybody. If you have a line of credit and you're moving along and you're doing really, really good, you're going to win. But the Money Max, I've never had a case yet that the Money Max didn't beat me running down numbers on a line by 2 years, at least 2 years. So that ought to tell you something that the Money Max is coming in and eliminating interest that
Yeah.
the line of credit cannot, we can't eliminate enough interest. But am I right in saying that it eliminates over 98% in some cases of the interest that you're paying per month?
Well, we have for a lot of your clients. Yeah, we tend
Wow.
to we tend to play it lower. Like, hey, look, we'll help you cancel 60 or 65, 70% of your interest. But for a lot of clients, we cancel almost all of it. We have clients that even on their mortgage, there's something called your net effective interest rate. What are you really paying on the mortgage? And so you have loads of clients already that they don't even pay 1% on all of their debt.
Wow.
Not even 1%. It's knowing how to use cash flow. And you don't have to have a ton of it. The more you have, the better for you. The less you have, it's still good for you, right? It's not bad for you. It's still good for you. But the less you have, the more deliberate you have to be with the money. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to show them that for a particular reason. Okay. Because you mentioned that you spoke to someone that said, hey, well, what would happen if I got this $11,000 tax return? What would I do with it? I want you to see something really quick. If I went right here and I said that, hey, I just got a tax return, Uncle Sam, okay, sent me some money. Okay, I'm going to put it into my checking account, and it was $11,000. And I'm going to move it back to February because that's the month I'm working in right there. Okay, and it's going to count as some income. You don't have to worry about all these things. These are all preset for you except for this number right here. Look what would happen here. This moved from 150 to 162,000. Okay, they went from 11.8 down to 11. And look at all this. Look what it said right here. It sees the money coming in. Originally, it said move it over to savings. But then look what it did. It instantly said you can apply $5,500 even to MasterCard. Why? Because that was the balance. Look, it was paying it off. It knew exactly what to do with the money. It was going to pay off. You can see if you highlight over it, you can see what the balance would be. It was even going to send $4,444.99 to their mortgage. And so, if they would, in behind this, it even talks about that maneuver right there would cancel $20,000 of interest.
Wow.
Yeah, this is the stuff that we would never be thinking of on this MasterCard right here. You'd be canceling $7,600 of interest. This is money that you're earning that you didn't have to give away to the bank now. You
Wow.
just needed to know how to use your cash flow is all you needed to know how to do. And that's exactly what the system does. There's no more to it than that. You can connect it to your bank with some of you can connect it to your bank if you want to. You can actually operate it manually. I'm going to tell you, it's exciting to see. It's exciting to watch what, and as far as ease of use, you sit down, like let's say that this was it. This is how tough it is to use it. I could click all these lines together all at one time and say, oh, these are the things that happened. Yes, these are all the things that happened right here. And then just select all of them and execute. That's all
Wow.
I, yeah, there's nothing more to it than that. Yeah,
So
that, look at
so
that.
the $11,000 that you just showed,
Yeah.
not only did it eliminate $11,000 in just principal, but it also took away, it looked like almost 30,000 in interest just by applying that in the right place.
Well, here's how much it took right here. $29,140 right there.
Wow.
That's exactly what it just did. Right. We would never be thinking along how to do something like that.
Right. No.
Yeah. Yeah. This system is all about, see, we've always been trying to send money in to get rid of the interest. Everybody has. But the way that we did it was just, however we felt, let me send some money, extra money to Visa, or let me send, we weren't being deliberate with money. But the system is letting you be deliberate with money. So it's really only for somebody that's really serious about, hey, I want to get out of debt, right? Because you do have to know what the system is saying. But guess what? We take the journey with you. Right. So you don't have to do it alone. We actually coach you and teach you how to use the system so that you know exactly how to beat the bank.
But the point is, and I'm going to speak out loud here for people that may be watching. When I was in debt and out of control, completely out of control, I knew nothing about Moneymax, did not even know it existed until about 3 years ago now, I guess. But when I was making payments, and raise your hand out there if you're listening to this, because when I was making payments, I was looking at it as I have to make this payment because if I don't make it by the due date, it's going to get a late charge. And then if I don't make it by, day 30, it's going to go on my credit score, which if anybody out here is like me, you were panicked at the 30-day coming up because you knew you were getting ready to get your credit knocked again. And, it wasn't even about my credit, Rick. It was about, I didn't want the calls from them. They were calling. Oh my gosh. I can't even tell you how many calls I would get in a day, to the point I would unplug my phone. And for you guys that's from the 80s and remember that we had phones that plugged in the wall back in the day. So the point was is I would unplug the phone just so that the calls would stop coming in. I hated getting those calls from people saying, hey, we're calling from such and such, and we're looking for a payment and you haven't made your payment this month, and you need to pay this much to catch it up. That was my life. So when you talk about, putting money in the right places, if people are in my mind frame and mindset, the point is that, Rick, we're not thinking about getting out of debt. We're thinking about making it to the next paycheck.
Yeah.
And I'm saying all of that to say that until I started working with clients that are in the Moneymax, and I saw the freedom that they have, because the Moneymax telling you, hey, you need to make this payment on this date to this debt, it takes all of the guesswork out of it. It takes that stressful, oh, I got to do my spreadsheets and wait, did I make this payment? And if I make half of this payment today and then half out of my next check, I'm going to be able to complete the payment for the month. I mean, all of that goes away. And I've had people tell me that, they found out that one, they have a really bad illness, let's say cancer. I've had several people tell me that, they were diagnosed and they couldn't work anymore to keep up the spreadsheets. They didn't even want to do the stressful calculating on what was going on in their month. I had another lady that told me that her mother-in-law had come down with a bedfast illness of some sort, and she had to sit with her 24 hours a day. And she said there was no time for anything to do with uh, calculating and figuring out, what payments need to be made on what day. That's
Yeah.
when I learned that Moneymax is so much more than just an interest eliminator. Yes, it's going to get you out of debt. Yes, it's going to increase your credit score. But what I'm seeing is that the ease of using it, it's user friendly.
Right.
And people love that. I think we have a client in it that's 82 years old, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Yeah, I
It's
do.
not
I love
hard.
Yeah, I do. I love her too. But yeah, no, it's not hard. No, it really is just, basically you're each month what you're doing is you're telling it the how much income came into the household. You are telling it what bills were paid out of the household. The system will see what is ever left over, and then it will tell you what to do with it next month to deploy it. There's, cash flow. There's only three things we can do with it. We can spend it, we can save it, or we can deploy it. We can make good use of it. And
Mhm.
if you do, then you can get yourself out of debt, and you can, and should you, yes, this family, think about this right here. They would be keeping $162,000 of real money that they actually earned that they will not give the bank. That $11,000 was not just worth 11,000, it was worth 29, it was 11,000 plus
Yeah,
$29,000 of interest.
right.
That it was worth a fortune. And to think this is the stuff that we don't know how to navigate through. Thank goodness that somebody, there's people that I know how to use the program. I know how to use the program well, but I'm not the creator of the program. And, but the minds that created it, thank goodness that they did,
Yeah.
man. That's like, I'm telling you, to me, it was like God ordained. The,
Yes.
and
Yes.
so I believe it. But the thing is that we're all in that peril. And the whole thing is that you brought up about seeing what it does. That's really what we do for folks. Okay. Is that we allow people to actually investigate. Okay. What would this system do for you? What would it do for you if you knew exactly what to do with every penny that you're bringing into the household? If you knew exactly what to do with it, you knew which creditors you owed the money to, you bought all the groceries, you paid for the fundraiser at the school, you did all those things right there, right? And so, and the system would said that, hey, you only have $125 left over at the end of the month. That's what it said to you. But you want to get out of debt, so you're going to make use of it. What would you do with it? That's the whole idea, is that we can't wonder at what we should do with it. We
Right.
actually need to mathematically know exactly what to do with it. And that's, we've been around 21 years now. We're
So
not,
the point
no.
being is that, when you think about $162,000, you're
Mhm.
like, I'm sorry. I know Fantastic has been running here for, over 2 years, and I should be used to this stuff, but I am as excited as you guys watching out there that's paycheck to paycheck, because I've been in your shoes and I never, ever, never, ever want to go back. So I too bought into the Money Max. I'm not using it right now, but I bought it because you never know what life situation may come up that you have to end up getting some stupid loan at the bank that you're like, what the heck have I done? But I don't have any fear about that now. One, I know how to do velocity banking. Two, I have the Money Max, and if I have to step into some sort of loan, Moneymax is going to eliminate most of that interest for me. So
Sure.
what the stressor here is none. I mean, when you have the tools that are set up, and that's why I don't even consider, I'm not a salesman and I don't like salesmen. And I think that they're pressuring you, they're pushing you to make a decision. And that is why I love the way Fantastic has set up these different consultations so that you can get information, get educated on what one of these tools are going to do for you before you ever think about stepping into it. And that is what you offer through the team here, Rick, is the free personal analysis, meaning that you'll sit down and take an individual's numbers as they stand right now, and you'll run the numbers through the system and tell them, hey, this is going to do this for you, or hey, no, I'm sorry, we can't help you. That way, people are not one feeling like, oh my gosh, I have to, they're wanting me to buy this. I have to do this. I have to do this. Or two, I'm not sure if this is, well, okay, I'll get it. No, we don't want you. I don't want you doing that. I don't. Like I said, this is an option for you to try. And they do free analysis. So if you are screaming, hey, it's a scam, then you haven't been educated. Okay. I don't want anybody to call anything a scam until you've tried it free in your own situation and just see for yourself. Then, if you meet with Rick and Rick's like, oh yeah, this thing's going to wipe out your debt tomorrow, then you'd know something's wrong. But he's going to lay it down in layman's terms for you, what it looks like in your situation. And I wrote these numbers on the board because this is what I just had. Just had a client that has a mortgage, and $2,700 of that mortgage is going to interest only right now. They've already, I'm going to say this, in 2 years, 24 months, they have already thrown away $67,000 plus on interest only. When I see that, that's heart-wrenching, because what could they have done with $67,000 in the span of this loan had they just known what tool to use? So when we're talking about a $2,700 interest and only $414 was going to their actual home that they wanted to buy, do you know that they were going to end up paying 1.179 million for that home?
Wow.
And it wasn't even a $500,000 home? That is highway robbery. That is so sad when I run into that. And they were almost panicked in their voice because they're like, we don't have the income to support this. And now we're in a mess and we don't know what we're going to do. So, guess what, Rick? You get to talk to them later.
That's good. That's good. I'm happy to help. Yeah, I really am. The thing is that it's, and I don't know how to say it well enough. Okay, except for that, it's that, hey, we're all, when it comes to money, we're all pretty much the same. I mean, really, we've always had a love or hate relationship with it, right? We've loved it. It's hated us back. It's treated us bad.
So let me say this, and correct me if I'm wrong, that with this person, let's
Hmm.
say that the Moneymax can come in and eliminate $2,000 in interest here. Let's say 1,500 in interest.
Or even half. Just make it
Okay.
that half, 1350.
Okay, so if it eliminates $1,350 in
Yeah.
interest, so this is the Moneymax. I'll put M for Moneymax. In my calculations, 3 months of this savings pays for the Moneymax system.
Oh yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, people. I'm sorry. I know
Yeah.
what a basic charge is going to be for him here.
Yeah.
And to think that 3 months of just half of his interest being saved, it there's not a trade. I told the creator, I told John Washington this. He must not have got the big head about it because he hasn't raised the prices. But I said, why are you doing this so cheap? You could charge 3 times what you are and people would buy into it. And you know what he told me? He said, I want to help people save their homes. And wow. So that was a mouthful that, and I'll respect him till I die just because I see what he's doing. And his mind to create this, first off, is crazy. I have never and never will have a mind like that. But to know why he did it and where his heart's at. And you just don't hear that a lot. You don't hear that. And that's exciting for me. So, you know, tell us a little bit about when we're talking about John and his idea for what he created here. Tell us a little bit about his background and why he decided to go this way.
Well, actually, it's kind of a similar story to everybody else. It's that his family basically got into financial troubles when he was young. And sadly, they ended up losing their home. Is what it is. That's not just a trauma on mom and dad. That's a trauma on the kids as well. And so he experienced that. Well, growing up, he ends up getting into the mortgage business. And so and he did really well in the mortgage business too. So I mean he was good at it. And so but all of a sudden people were coming back to refi, and all of that was kind of igniting the trauma, although it was good for the mortgage business, right? But it was that he was thinking, hey, are you sure? He all of a sudden was starting to take a more personal interest in what was going on. And if they came back a second time, then he was really panicked. And that's what really led him to go ahead and start to try to figure out there must be a way to go ahead and help people get out of debt. And there is, it's basically a banking algorithm that's tooled backwards. Whereas the bank is trying to collect the most amount of interest, this is trying to cancel the most amount of interest, is what it's doing. So and if clients come out ahead.
Right.
Typically most of your clients, I mean, really seriously, I mean, you've got hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of clients using this.
Mhm.
They're going to all tell you the same thing, that hey, here's what it was. I was going to be debt free, and I had 29 years to go, 27 years to go. I'm going to be out of my mortgage in 6 years, out of my mortgage in 5 years. Some of them 10 years or 11 years.
Well, my daughter-in-law and my I call him my son. He they were in debt over 300,000, and they had low credit scores that they couldn't get into a line of credit. So I suggested that they move into the Moneymax as well. And you know what? They talk to me about the Moneymax every time I see them, and I guess they've been in it almost a year now. It's been a while. And she told me within the first 4 weeks, their credit scores jumped 100 points. And guess what? They can do the line of credit. But MoneyMax is bringing their debt down like they never dreamed was possible. And so they were at a 29-year payoff on their mortgage that brought them down to, I think it was 6.2 years. Their cash flow was pretty low. It was 300 to 500 a month, somewhere in there. And so the point is that people, if I'm putting my family into it, I've bought into it. I'm a believer in this, and I'm telling you, get your free analysis and walk away. We're not, like I said, this is an option for you, and I'm super excited to share it with you, just like I share everything else I learned. I was telling a guy that I worked with today, that he actually had $150,000 HELOC. So he easily could start chunking down his loans, his home, with that large HELOC. But I told him, I said, just go for the analysis on the Moneymax. Once you've been through it, if you are not like totally convinced that this is what you want to do, then walk away. But it may be something that you go, oh my goodness, I had him at about a 9.5 year payoff. Money says Moneymax is going to bring him down to about 7 if it's the way the numbers usually run. So
Probably.
like I said, this isn't a sales tactic. I don't give a hope if you all buy in or not. The problem with the American mindset is that we're focused on making those payments, just like I was. And when you have a system that's telling you exactly where to make those payments, on what date, and in what amount. It doesn't get any easier than that. So, you know
Very,
what? I just am so tickled with the fantastic team and what you guys are doing for my clients. I'm going to share one more thing. I've had people come to me that bought the Moneymax 4 and 5 and 6 and 8 and 10 years ago. And they're like, well, I have that Moneymax. So I really, I didn't understand it back then, but I want to buy in again. And guess what, Rick? I send them to you and I'm like, they've already got it. Let's get them updated. And you'll update that system. There's no new fees, there's no charges because it's a lifetime product. And
right.
it's like once you're in, you're in. And no, there's not like people are asking, is it have a monthly subscription? I believe that's what they asked me.
Yeah.
From the clients that I've worked with, it's a one-time buy-in, and
Yeah.
then you're in it for good.
That's exactly right. Yeah, the fact that we take the journey with everybody, we provide all the coaching and stuff. Yeah, it's definitely it's worth every penny of it. And the crazy part about it is that again, we don't realize how to use money. Could you imagine if you could have it and it was only going to cost, say, $40 a month? Christy, we just showed that to one of your clients. Hey, hers will be like $40 a month. And she was, it is mind boggling, but that's the reason why we're here. We want you to be able to see what it would do. We want you to be mind boggled and then kind of weigh the evidence,
Yes.
see what it means for you. And the, Christy, do you have a QR code or anything for
I
them?
am pulling that up because I forgot. I've had people asking in here and I completely forgot to put that in. I'm going to put that in right now. Sorry
Yeah.
about that, guys. I was sitting here not even paying attention. So I'm going to put it in the chat right now. Now, guys, listen. This is going to be a free analysis, meaning they're going to take your numbers. They're going to run your numbers based on what you're spending right now, based on your income right now. It's non-invasive. They're not going to ask you for social security numbers or they're not going to ask you for account numbers. This is just for you to get some information. Okay. So don't be stressing out about, well, wait a minute, what are they going to, what are they going to need? They're just going to need what your income is, what your debt is, the balances and the payments, and then the interest rates. Okay. That's as easy as it gets. And you all give me that stuff every day. So I'm just telling you, why is this not working, Rick? Why
Can
is
I
this?
share? Can I share a QR code with them? I'll just share the screen.
Yeah. Can you share the screen?
Yeah, then they can just grab it off the QR code.
Okay, you do that. Hello, Lupita. Lupita.
There you
Lupita.
go.
Love your name. How many
The,
Texans do we have in the room? Because I know we've got like half Texans in here right now.
I mean, it's the great state of Texas. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you're in Texas, Rick. I forgot.
Exactly. That's exactly right. So yeah, and I love it here. The the thing is that this is what we always talk to people about. Should you automate your thinking? You got to think about what it means to you. Technology, think about it, has changed everything we've got going on in our lives. Electric cars, what? We've got cars that drive themselves. Christy was just telling you about her phone attached to a wall. She probably had one of those 20-foot cords.
Yes, you know it. You
Walk
know it.
around
I
the
miss
corner.
those things. You could wrap them around your fingers. You remember?
Yeah.
You'd like take the twisty and you'd do it
Yeah.
until you turn purple on the end.
Yeah.
It
But
says they can't see the QR code. Is it?
oh, it's not right there. Can you see it or no? You
Let
can't see
me
it?
see. I don't know why it would be. Do I need to pin it or what are we doing here? I don't know.
Well, I just tried to share it again right there.
There it is. I can see it pretty good. So let me see if it works on my phone. If it does, then you know what? I think that it's, I wish that, I would bring, yeah, it works.
Yeah.
I wish that I would bring you on more often because I don't, when I worked with 4 people today, I believe, that told me they had never heard of the Moneymax. And I'm like, How can you be watching the channel and not hear about Moneymax? Because I feel like I try to give this information a lot. You know, I feel like that I try to share all of the different options so that people have an idea of what their options are. This is sort of like a GPS system, though. This is going to tell you, like, if you put a street address in that you want to go to, it's going to tell you the time you arrive. And then if you take a wrong turn or you cut off too early, it'll tell you how to get back on the path. And that is amazing. Tell me about the app that's coming out.
I wonder if I can show a picture. It's actually, I could try to back up the slides. Let me see if it'll do it. No, it won't. Let me pull it up. I'll show it to you. I don't know if you've seen a picture of it, but I'll show it to you. The, yeah, because actually we're all excited about that.
I'm excited about it too because I can't wait to see it. I'm going to put my contact in here because people are saying that they can't get this to work. Some are, some are not. So I'm going
Okay.
to put it. If you all are interested, if you're interested in your own free personal analysis, I'm going to put a link in the chat that's going to send you contact, right? So you're going to be able to put Moneymax. You're going to see a place where you mark Moneymax. When I get that, my helper will send your information over to Rick, and then he will get you scheduled because I don't know what else to do if you can't, you know, do um, the whole QR code thing here, which I get it because that QR code thing is freaking weird to me. I'm just gonna be honest. I don't know who came up with
Works.
that.
It works. I don't either, but I know it works. Hang on a second.
That's
Okay,
pretty, yeah.
that's okay. Let me see which slide. Okay, that's that one. Let me see if is it right here. Okay, why isn't it advancing? Hey, that's what it looks like right there.
Oh wow, when's it coming out?
It's in beta right now, so we've already been in beta for this is basically our fourth month. Yeah, we started this year. The so we're hoping that we'll by the next quarter that we'll be ready to go. And so we jam all kinds of stuff through there. I mean, we run a calculation after calculation after calculation. And so it's really just about having it right there, being able to have it all right in your hand. I mean, it's gonna be pretty amazing. I mean, from the palm of your hand, you might cancel $40,000 of interest,
Yeah,
right? So
that's and
just
no
boom,
joke.
just
No
boom.
joke.
It's a pretty good, exciting launch. And so it's going to be like that. It really is amazing to know that you can actually be in complete control of all your money.
Yeah.
There's nothing like it. Okay. I mean, it's that and it's just, and it might be the first time ever. Most people have never been in control of their money. The money's always been in control of them.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, but man, when you can actually let a system actually do the math for you, and this is complicated math, understanding, the difference between an amortized loan, simple interest loan, understanding that how a credit card payment is calculated. I mean, if we took that test today, how many people would say, "Oh, well, this is exactly how it's calculated"? Yeah, that's not easy because every single credit card is different. It doesn't matter if they both say 18%. One of those cards can be good and one of them can be bad, very bad. And so it's and we just don't understand how those things are working. But that's because lending is predatory. I mean, otherwise we wouldn't have a Truth in Lending Act. Okay, we wouldn't have laws in Congress that try to protect us. The
Right.
Right,
Right.
and so yeah, and so
Sad. It's very sad
exactly right.
what they're doing to the people. So they're asking, will it work for Australia?
The well, I want to say yes is what I want to say. So yes, if you're in Australia, I don't care where you are. The We've got help for you, and so most definitely, Christy, you've got your link in there for them to contact you, right?
Yes, yes, and they
Yeah,
are contacting me. Oh my goodness. Wow, a
yeah,
lot of you guys are very interested in this,
yeah,
and I'm glad
definitely.
to see that. because I think that it's the most amazing thing I've ever seen for debt elimination. You know what? And I'm going to be honest a minute, Rick, about this. Had I known that this was around back in the day, and if I had gone for my own analysis and they told me, hey, this is going to cost you $3,000, this is going to cost you $12,000. It depends on your debt load and how many mortgages you have, I guess. But
Right.
I would have been like, I think I'll just take my, my $3 or $4,000 and I'll just pay it onto my debt. And I understand that. But when I've worked with people and I see this to where it's going to save so much interest that you don't even feel what you're paying for the system, because this is just 3 months. Let's think about it. 1350 times 3, that's $4,050. That
Yeah.
is more than what the Moneymax cost in most situations. You know what I'm saying? Oh, sorry, $50. That
Yeah.
is more than what the Moneymax system can cost in most situations anyway. So when I see this being turned around in 3 months, it's gone. The interest this is over the next, if you get a payoff of, let's say, 10 years and you're coming out of a 30-year mortgage, the first 3 months of your 10 years, in this situation, this is a 6.75% interest rate on a mortgage. I want to scream when I see that. But, like I said in one of the videos, I want to get down in the floor in a fetal position and just cry because people are getting taken advantage of like that. That's so
Yeah.
sad.
Well,
And this can help. This can
yes, that you see it. I'm not kidding you, Christy, because I see your clients. The
help.
thing is, it's not really you saying that it's good. It's not even me saying it's good. I mean, there are literally hundreds of your clients on your channel saying that it's good.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
good. So
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, I mean, you have to think about it. We've eliminated $2.7 billion of consumer debt. I mean, we're not new at this. We've done this a minute.
Crazy.
Yeah, exactly. And we've got, I mean, today we manage more than $10 billion for clients trying to get rid of it all. We have millions upon millions of more every week. We've got it's
I
why would
have a couple of videos on my YouTube channel with people who are using the Moneymax and how it's changed their lives. I can't think of the names of those videos right now. I wish I had thought of that and I would have put them in the chat so people can go check that out. But I know I've had the negative cash flow of over $600, the credit score of 627, I think it was,
yeah,
could not get a line of credit. And then the Moneymax system come in and took a 26-year mortgage and brought it down to 8.7 years. And for this GPS effect I was talking about, this same couple, I think it was about 8 months later, found that his wife had cancer. So then they got all frazzled, like you would over a health condition such as that. They got in new bills, and I sent them back to Rick. And I'm like, hey, you got to help them get everything updated because they're in a mess. And Rick, that experience was so good with them. They were so happy and relieved. They even wrote me an email and they were like, he got us back under control. Everything feels so much better now. Thank you so much for your time. And you didn't make a dime for that. You didn't make a dime to help them update a system that had gone crazy because they had so much that hit them. So I appreciate you. Like I said, I appreciate what the fantastic team does, that you're helping these people to find some peace, because that's what we're looking for, is we all deserve it and we all want it. And
yeah.
yes, you guys will take payments. Am I right about that?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
We're not going to say no to anybody. Our whole thing, we're on a mission here, and so we're going to help folks.
I know
The
you're on a mission, because if I write you at 6, 7 o'clock here Eastern time, you're in Central Time, you will answer me. And then
Right.
here we are, and it's 9 o'clock Eastern Time. So I know that you're working all the time. I don't know when you sleep.
Yeah. But you know, I'm not kidding you. And yet I don't get tired of this
Yeah,
because listen, for the first time in people's lives, paying bills are fun.
I
Okay.
agree.
Yeah. So they are fun because when you see that, oh man, when I do this, I'm knocking out $2,000 or I'm knocking out $4,000. There is one client he recently, okay, that on their first, I mean, can you imagine actually making one adjustment to your mortgage and saving $100,000? You just,
Wow.
yeah,
Oh,
we just had
wow.
that. Yeah. So we just had that. We can even show people how to actually effectively consolidate credit cards if that's what they needed to do.
Wow.
And so, yeah, it's really get your, you know what, where is the QR code? Hey, we make promises, zero risk, no magic, just math.
That's the
And
truth.
yeah, plus 100% money back guarantee. We're not guessing with any of this. This is mathematically accurate for you.
I
The,
forgot about that. That is a guaranteed product.
yeah,
I mean, hello.
I'm trying to get to this slide where this is what we're trying to give you. But I'm trying to get to back to the other slide. But this is what the personal savings report looks like. We will generate one of these for you. And like this family right here, you can see if I back those up, you can see right there, they were going to be debt free in 28.5 years. Now it'll be 8 years. And
Years. That's
yeah,
20 years. That is
yeah,
2 decades of
yeah,
payment.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, when you think about 96 payments, they were at 342 payments to go. Now it's only 96 payments. Yeah, you can get your
Wow.
happy dance on. They'll keep about 68% of the interest is what they'll keep. And look at this. They only had $149 a month of cash flow is all they had. It was how do you use the cash flow? What do you do with it? And so when we have plenty of it, well, we can do other things, right? But when it's the more budget minded we are, the more budget minded we need to be. And so it's like we really need to be diligent about it. And so that $149, it matters. And they could have actually saved up, just even on their income, could have actually saved up more than $3 million at the same time that would take them to go ahead and pay off their mortgage. And
Wow.
so, yeah, so they really could have put some money together. This is
That's
where I was.
crazy.
This is
That
where I
is
was.
crazy. And
Yeah.
I have a lady that like I said, my daughter-in-law, she's so excited about it. She talks about it every time I see her. And I even don't take this wrong, Rick, but I'm as excited about debt elimination as anybody on the planet. But I mean, come on, dude, stop bringing this up every time I see you. Because she's like, I cannot believe what this Moneymax is doing. So she will go to the grocery store, and if she's budgeted $100 to spend, and she finds out that she's only spent $98, she said that she goes back into the Moneymax system and puts the new $2 that she saved with her groceries, and that it'll recalculate and show her a new payoff date. And she said, "There's nothing like that." She said,
Yeah.
"I
Right.
love having that kind of control over my money."
Yeah. Everything you do, every money in, money out, the whole program is millions of lines of code, all instantly recalculate to give you the next best move.
Now, the screen you just showed us where they only had $149 in cash flow a month, and then you showed their payoff at 8 years rather than 28.5 years, I believe it was.
Right.
You're not calculating like future pay raises, bonuses, $10 they find on the street, or that's not included in that, is it?
No, because we don't know that, right?
Right.
The, but I can show you some things that you'll want to see on there. Look, see this part right here? Can you see that 1.42 right there? Can you see
Uh-huh.
this? That's what they're paying now. Using the MoneyMax account would be just like they went down to the bank, refinanced everything into one big bundle, and got a rate of only 1.4.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, I mean it's mind, and that's what it's going to be like for everybody here too.
Yeah.
You're only going to pay. I don't care what the rates are. If you know how to use your cash flow, generally we can get everybody, even with 6.75. Generally, we can get everybody down around 2 or less. And so it's not just saving a little bit of interest. This is saving an enormous amount of money. And so, and it doesn't do it down the road. It saves you the money now when you're paying the most amount of interest is the whole idea. And that's why we can get you out of the debt so quick. The,
Okay.
but what I was going to tell you about pay raises, a little over 70% of the clients will actually even beat this number right here. Okay, they'll beat this. It's by a little, on average, a little more than 20% is what it is. And so we would probably end up saving them like an extra 18 months, maybe in another year and a half is what we would do.
Wow.
The Yeah, it's once we know what the pay raises are going to be looking like, okay, and whether it was a 3% Social Security, whatever it was, it doesn't matter. The all of those things can be actually forecasted inside of the system to actually see what would it mean to you. If you were going to buy a car, should I buy the car today, or what would it mean if I wait 6 months from now? You'd be surprised to see what the difference could mean to you. It could mean thousands of dollars to you if you just waited just a few months. And so
Right.
well, that's the point is that when we have to make better choices with our money. Well, everything that we do with it is emotional. Okay. So we take the emotion out and turn it all mathematical. And if you do, well, then you get this kind of victory right here is what you get. This is how it works.
That's
The
amazing.
Yeah, and this is very typical right here, actually. The
Yeah.
so yeah, um,
So let's answer a couple of questions here. One, how do I get an analysis? He's got the QR code up here on the screen, or I have, if you can't do the QR code for whatever reason, I have a contact form that I'll put in here again that you can write me, or you can't write me. No, I'm sorry, this isn't for writing. This is going to have a Moneymax choice on it that you can make. When you mark that, I will forward it straight over to Rick and he will call and get you scheduled, okay? So if you want your own free, and it's free, guys, please. I'm sorry, I get a little flustered because people come to me and they'll say, well, I don't know, I've heard about that, but I'm not sure. And when they do that, and I literally say, then you can't complain about it because it's all free to get educated. Once
yeah.
you're educated, then you know what steps to take. If you're interested in it, go into it. If you're not, go figure something else out.
Well,
There's an answer
yeah.
for everybody.
Well, it's hard. How do you not be like this client that we just worked with? Okay, her she got the program. She got it under basically a payment arrangement. Her payment is $40. $40. I
Wow.
mean, how do you, I mean, if this payment here, this payment on this one here, let's say it was $140. Do you think that they would be upset about that? It's not 140. It's less. I'm telling you. Okay, it's less.
So,
Yeah.
what info do we need to bring to the analysis? How will this work? Let's say they fill out my contact form or they do your QR code that you put up there.
Yeah.
You've got their contact information. What happens from that point right there?
Well, they're going to be connected to a team member that works with us. This is what they're going to do.
And they're all awesome because they're all fantastic members.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. We're a big collective of people that all agree. We're all trying to get people out of debt. That's what we want to do.
Right.
It's non-invasive. We don't need any account numbers, no social security numbers, anything like that. This is simple. Basically, the same worksheet that you're using. Okay, if
Right.
you list out the creditors, list out the balance, list out the monthly payment on it, and then the interest rate. If you've got a mortgage, be sure to go ahead and say how much escrow is inside of the mortgage payment. Be sure to do that. List out the rest of the bills. List all of them out. List all the credit cards, even the balance, and then the minimum payment that they want on that balance. That actually tells us some information if that's on there. If it's 0%, say when, for how long. Go ahead and be detailed with it, and then tell us what the income is. How frequently do you receive it? And when you do, how much do they let you bring home? And so those numbers right there will actually give you a very good estimate about what you can keep. We even factor in what you think your living expenses are. So it doesn't matter to us if you say your cash flow is $5 or $500. we're actually going to be able to show you a positive result either way. It doesn't matter. You're actually going to see a picture that's going to surprise you by what you can actually have and what you can keep that you didn't give away.
Wow. You
Yeah.
can't beat that. You just can't beat it. I'm telling you, I have seen some amazing things. I was going to tell you because I'm not even sure that you know about this. But I have a client in Colorado. He made pretty good money. He made really good money actually for your average American. He was about 19-20,000 a month that he made, but he was so covered up in debt. And people, that's what I tell you. It doesn't matter if you make $1,000 a month or if you make $50,000 a month. We're all in the same boat with interest. We all are confused about what to do with our money. So I'm just giving him kudos because he makes a lot of money here, but he still was broke. So I sent him to the Moneymax. You guys took him from, he was up in his 28, 29-year payoff on his mortgage, brought it down to 5.2 years. Okay. And then he started using a line of credit too, where he was turning payments into cash flow. And he let me know it's been about 4 months ago now, but he let me know that he was down to 3 years on his payoff.
Yeah.
So the more active that you are, just like I was telling you about the lady that, if she saves a couple of dollars at the grocery store, she puts it in. Moneymax will work with whatever additional cash flow that you put in there, and it's going to show you where to put that new money so that you're eliminating even more interest than your analysis may have shown. I love it. I just think it's awesome. Like I was saying at the beginning, the creators of this, their minds are more than like I could never think like this. But what does the system do exactly? What does it do? How does it tell you where to place those payments and the amount to place?
Well, what it does, there's gonna be some actually action arrows on the action plan. There's gonna be red and red, blue and blue, blue and green. It's if you think of this like GPS for a second, if you can I just explain that? Because I mean, if you think about it like GPS, yeah, the GPS, if you tell it where you want to go, but Miss Christie mentioned that it'll take you right to the front door. It does. And it does it with just three simple instructions: right turn, left turn, U-turn. That's all it does. The well, the one of the things that we tend to love about it is it gives us an ETA, and that itself is based on the speed limit of the streets. Well, imagine if you could have something like that though for your finances. That it knew GPS knew what your coordinates were. It's got satellites that saw you on the earth, and so it was able to give you those instructions. Well, imagine if you gave all of the balances, if you gave what your payment dates are, if you gave those things, if you not the due dates, but if you gave like the income, how you're supposed to receive it, you gave this information that we're asking you about. Well, then the system then would know your financial coordinates. And based on your cash flow, which would determine your speed, okay, all of a sudden you can now see your ETA. And
That's
that's what we want to give you. And
that's
so that's
crazy. I'm telling you, it's just crazy to me at how fast this system works and how easy it is to use it. Like I said at the beginning, I have an 82-year-old woman that's in it, and I wouldn't even think that I would have been able to have done that. When you're not used to technology at all, that you can take something that's helping you to eliminate debt. I'm going to tell you another thing that I started learning about MoneyMax not long ago was these people that have collections and they have horrible credit reports, and it really seems like you're at a dead end. The very first appointment I had today, their credit score was four. I didn't even know they could go as low as 400s. And I was like, as soon as I see a four or $500, $500, as soon as I see a 4 or 500 credit score, I know, okay, one, you've had over 30 days, or two, you've got collections. So that was the problem here. This guy had gone over, 30 days a few times, more like 90 days. And you know what? He was so discouraged. But when I told him, honey, just hold on, you're getting ready to go for the ride of your life, because they had almost $500 in cash flow a month. It was just they couldn't move because they couldn't even get a line of credit to get started if they wanted to. But the Moneymax, I know you're going to do the analysis for him, and I know that he's going to be jumping up and down because he's going to start getting out of debt, and he never even knew that was possible. And like you said, waking up of a morning and realizing that this is what we get to do every day, there's nothing like it. There's nothing like getting to share peace with people, and people are finding it, and it just warms my heart because I think that it's so amazing that somebody would come up with something that's going to help people in most every situation. And the real estate investors that I have, if for people who have 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 13 homes that they're juggling mortgages on, MoneyMax can come in and bring order to that chaos. And like I said, the investors seem to be getting the best um, as far as peace when it comes to how many mortgages they're trying to juggle, that you all will line that up on the system and show them exactly what to do. So all of the guesswork is out of it now. I just think that had I known about this system back in the day, it would have made such a difference for me, even especially
Yeah.
when you have small children, and they're running around and you're half crazy anyway. There's so many situations where the Money Max just brings order to the chaos, like I was saying.
Yeah. This right here is the most important slide in the whole slide deck right there. Life coaching. The idea that you get somebody that's going to help work with you, that understands what your debt situation is and actually knows the money max, knows the system, so that they can actually teach you exactly what to do so that you can learn how to operate the system. Yeah, because everything that is worth really, this is something that's valuable, it's worth learning. It really is. Because this isn't saving you a little bit of money. This is tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of dollars is what this would be saving you. Even if it's just a bunch of credit card debt, a car loan, it's still probably going to save you tens of thousands of dollars, money that you don't have to give away. But this part right here is, if someone told me that, hey, look, I'll take the journey with you. I'll go ahead and show you how. Okay. In other words, not sell you something, wish you well, be fed, be warm. Not like that. No.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
And I
Somebody that's
can
going to,
vouch for you guys do that. I
yeah.
can vouch for you doing that because, like people I work with Rick every day, and we're talking off and on throughout the day. And I know, I mean, you even have coaching sessions that you do, like for groups. So you're doing
Yeah.
everything you can to get people educated and at peace with using this system. And you have to be a very blessed man because I know you're giving so much of your time, not paid time. I know how much you give. I know what you do. That I just know of how you're helping my clients. And I mean, they're so appreciative. Like I said, I get emails from people talking about, Rick sat down with me and he went through this, and I feel so much better about it. So, you're doing a great work. You're doing a really great work. We have somebody that is asking, is MoneyMax worth investing in if you don't own a home yet but want to and have minimal debt?
The answer is yes. Here's why. Number one, you have to learn to use the system anyway, right? Whether you get the home or you're handling debt now. Number two is that if we're in debt now, well, then we're still paying some interest. Why would we give the money away if we didn't have to? And so why not let the system go ahead and do it? Number three is this: inside of the system, you can forecast. Okay, you can forecast. Miss Christie, you want me to show them an example of forecast? I can show them real quick.
Do it. Do
You
it.
know, okay, let me go find that screen real quick and go ahead and show them what I mean.
But I'm
The
going to tell them too, because we got that question again. When is the app going to be released? Do you have a month on that yet?
No, because they will never get pinned down like that. But they did say that we should have it out in the next quarter. So that means it's somewhere July, August, September is when we're expecting it, is what
Okay.
we're thinking. Yeah.
Okay.
It's the thing is that, you know, because we're financial services, we can't produce something that all of a sudden becomes glitchy. We've been around for 21 years. We're known for excellence. We've won so many awards. It's crazy. Right. And so we can't turn something loose into society without checking it. I mean, think we've got hundreds of beta testers testing and forcing all kinds of calculations through there. We're trying to break it. And so this is that same family that was going to be debt free in 11.8 years. Okay. Again, you can see what kind of money they've got in their checking and savings account. You already knew what they had for cash flow. But what if this family right here wanted to get a rental? What if they wanted to do that? Would they have the resources? Well, let's say that they did. Maybe somebody wanted to go ahead and own or finance it or whatever they wanted to do. And so here's the answer to that question, is that you'd be able to go ahead and put this information, just like I am right now, into the system. And you'd actually be able to figure out if it's a good deal for you. For instance, let's say, I don't know how expensive a home you're going to get, but let's say that this family here was getting this rental right here, and it was 7% for 30 years. And I can look to actually see what's the math on that. I can know what it is. So I'll just put 664 right there for 30 years. And let's say that they were going to go ahead and they weren't going to get the rental right away. They were going to start making these payments in June, is what they would do. And so we'll move this here up behind it. And there we go. Okay, it wants me to give it a different day. And I just installed that rental. So there it is right there. Now, did that change their action plan? Oh, yeah, it did. Look what it says up there. Okay, it says that your expenses are going to exceed your available funds. In other words, that's slang for you're going to run out of money, folks. Okay, that's what that's saying right there. But not until August 1st of 2027. Well, unless they put a renter in there, right? Unless they put a renter in. And so if this family wanted to do that, so even on their $300 of cash flow, the system is showing them how to navigate, even buying a $250,000 rental for 27 months before they actually would run out of money. So, but let's go ahead and then add in the rental. And I don't care. I'm going to let you pick. Okay. So I'm not going to pick I'm not going to do that, but this is another reason why investors love this too, Miss Christie. You were talking about why they do, is what I'm getting ready to show everybody right now. And so starting in July, when these people start to receive this rental income, okay, starting in July, tell me what kind of rent can we get? That's a $250,000 home down in Texas. That's a lot of homes still. But how much it is in Tennessee? How much is that going to get them any home? Can we get any rent?
Not much here. No, not now.
Yeah, not now. That hurricane.
No. I think the average is about 400 and maybe over 400,000 here now.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. So yes. So rental. So if we were going to rent this out, then if we just rented it for a couple $1,000s a month, then that would be relatively cheap. And so on a $400,000 home. But look what happens now. 14.1 years. So they were going to be debt free in 11.8.
Isn't that crazy? So you just added 3 years by doing that?
Right. So if someone was wondering, no, well, how am I going to have income for retirement? Well, here's $2,000 a month you could have. And none of this was your money. You borrowed it, is what you did.
That's crazy.
You borrowed it, is what you did. And you know what? The craziness of it is that I can continue to try to forecast stuff out if I wanted to actually see what does it really mean. What if they want to get two of these? I mean, if one of them was good, two of them got to be better, right? What's better than an ice cream cone? Two. so, so it's like,
I'm just going to tell you, I think not, because my husband and I were talking. He's a huge ice cream fan, and I don't know if anybody has a Dairy Queen around you, but they have a new flavor, and it's called, oh my gosh, am I advertising for Dairy Queen? Could I like get some? Okay, sorry. But anyway, it's called oh my gosh, cake. What is it? Oh my gosh, it's like birthday cake something. And I'm not an ice cream fan. I have no problem with turning down ice cream or cookies or sugar. I'm not a sugar fan. But it, he got this ice cream that was this birthday cake or whatever it was. And when he said, "Here, you got to try this as a bite of it." And so I tried it, and oh my goodness gracious, I literally, it was like eating a birthday cake. It was so weird. You couldn't even hardly taste the ice cream in it. So I literally went around the store and bought me my own small one.
oh,
And I
wow.
said, this is going to be the death of me right here. And when I ate the ice cream, yes. But you know what? I was like, Lord, please take that out of my mouth. I'll be huge by the time I eat all the ice cream here every night. Literally went back 2 nights later, I believe it was, and got another one because I was like, oh yeah, this time I got a medium because I was like, I enjoyed that so much. I'm getting this. When I went through and tasted it again, absolutely hated it. Absolutely hated
Oh,
it.
wow.
So I literally threw it out. I mean, I ate a couple of bites of it, and I was like, "This is trash." So that's what. How did I get off on that story, Rick?
You, I don't know, because I said something about an ice cream cone. Look, put this second rental in here. I put a
Oh,
second rental in. It said they'll run out of money now in 3.7 years, right? So no, but I didn't put the rent in yet. And so if I went ahead and started adding the rent, we'll say that there's this time we're not going to collect rental on this one here. We're not going to collect it until January of next year. Okay, so we're not going to, so it's already forecasting about what you're able to do down the road. That's the whole idea is that, you know, so if this was, let's just go ahead and say January. So if this is what we were going to do, well, what would it mean to us? Well, it would mean right here, your second rental paid off a year and a half later.
wow.
Yeah, a year and a half later. And so we show people that's Christy, I was mentioning that text this morning about how we want to be able to show people how they can actually acquire more rental property. Because anybody can have the future that they want to have. We know to use other people's money, OPM. We've all heard of that, forever. And we say that too. Use other people's money. Just don't give them the interest. Right. Keep the interest for yourself. Learn to become more savvy with the money. Well, I don't want to go to school for all the education behind it. Well, you don't have to. There's this system right here that will eliminate 60, 70, 80, maybe even 90% of the interest is what it will do for you.
Well, it's no wonder that my real estate investors absolutely love the program because it's telling them exactly, if they're having some kind of idea on, hey, this home is up for sale, should I buy it? And then they enter that number into the Moneymax and it tells them how many years it's going to add. You can't get any better than that. That's beautiful.
Yeah, that's exactly what it does. And so it's that, and it wouldn't matter whether that was a car or, well, I've got, your one of your kids are going to go off to college and you're going to borrow $25,000. Okay, well,
Wow.
you can enter that in here and you can see exactly what it's going to cost to, what it means to you. And it's going to surprise you about what it doesn't mean. It's going to surprise you. It doesn't mean that you're derailed. It does not mean that. And it's really, no, I'm serious about this part. It's, I just added in this. What if all of a sudden, though, what if they had something big happen to them? What if all of a sudden they had to go ahead and on top of all of this, okay, that all of a sudden they had, we'll say that they had an expense. They had a medical expense.
I think that you enjoy this way too much, Rick.
I
You're
do.
sitting over there in seventh heaven. I'm trying to talk about
It's
ice
like,
cream. And you can
man.
talk about nothing but rentals.
It was a 15% loan. It was ugly. They wanted it for 10 years. And I can see what the payment's going to be on that thing. And so, copy and let's just throw it right there. And so oh, look, it even says recast. It even says it won't pay off in 120 years at that. And so I needed to give it
Yeah.
some, yeah, 485. I need to give it a couple extra pennies. And so all of a sudden that's on their action plan now. That's what's happening. Now this could be catastrophic for somebody. The but inside of here, it's not inside of here.
Wow.
Yeah, this is a home plus two rentals and it's a huge medical bill.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a problem here. And so I mean it's that's not even, that's just a blip. And so, and the system knows how to navigate. Look, it's even got action arrows. It would pay off that whole medical bill in 3.2 years. It
Wow.
even just threw it on there as what how quickly it'll pay it off. And so, all I ever said to anybody, I don't ever say anybody get the program. I do say to everybody though, evaluate for yourself how much money you can keep.
Right.
Because yeah, because for me, I'm my kids hate it when I say like I'm tight, like 1:2. Okay. But I had to learn to be that way.
Right.
Okay. I had to learn. Yeah, my money had to become important to me.
Mm-hmm.
And because I know what it's like. Folks, I kid you not. Look, I know how bad it can be. I've lost a car. I've lost a home. I mean, if I would have financed my dog, they would have taken that too. I mean, it just and so it's like, man, I went through a bad, not that I got hurt is what was the problem. I got injured. And so it wasn't that I was, some bad guy. I just got, didn't want to pay my bills or whatever. I got injured, man. I got bit by a dog. And so all of a sudden I couldn't walk the same way.
Now, wait a minute. So you're saying that with this system, somebody doesn't have to eat beans and rice and get the second and third job?
Right.
Wow.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. There's another.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, guys, you have two options now, Velocity Banking, and now the Moneymax is overtaking, just how quickly that you can eliminate your debt. And I was wondering why I was talking about ice cream. It's almost 9:30. Oh my gosh, Brian, did I say Brian? I need to go to bed. Brian says, love my Moneymax. There you go, people.
Okay.
Thank you for sharing, Brian. So again, my contact link is in there if you want your free personal analysis. But he had a QR code up. You can go straight there and schedule your own appointment. You don't have to wait for us to reach out if you go ahead and schedule through that link. But again, guys, this is completely free. Rick, I apologize. I held you on here much longer than I meant to. I know that it's late where you're at too, and you want to do your nightly routine. I guess you want to clean your face and put on your lotions and all that. So I
Yeah,
will
that's what
let you go. Is there any last words you want to share with us here?
no, no. But you know
I
what?
think
We
you've
we
shared
can't.
plenty.
Yeah, we can't use the same thinking that got us here to get us out of here.
Right.
Okay, we got to think differently. So that's all I've got for everybody. I hope I get to meet you.
Well,
So
I tell you what, a lot of people have sent in contact forms to me. Probably many more have gone ahead and scheduled their own appointment through your QR code. But I just appreciate you taking the time to come on here and have a conversation with us about, you know, helping people. That's what I'm in the business of, is I want to get the options out there. Again, that's all this is another option for you to consider if you would like to go through a debt elimination process that is guaranteed. You can't find that. I kind of thought that was there's no way, but there is a way, and this does it. So guys, whether you have cash flow or you don't, whether you have a low credit score or you don't, whether you have a line of credit or you don't, this system is probably going to be your answer. And it doesn't matter if you don't have a mortgage or if you have 25 mortgages. It's going to be able to help you. So get your analysis so you know for sure. Once you get that and you're educated, then you're going to know what decisions to make. That's all we're trying to do is give you some options. So again, Rick, thank you so much for joining us tonight. It has been a pleasure. It's always a pleasure hearing you talk about this system because it's amazing and I think it needs to be shared. So tell the whole fantastic team I said hello. If they're not watching right now, I said see you later.
Thanks
All right.
again.
You
All
have a
right.
good night. Talk to you
Thank you.
guys
All right.
later. You